All right, cool. We are live. Hey, everybody. Hope everyone's having a great week. Happy Monday. So I am really excited because we are on video 2 of our series of following a live 1031 exchange through its actual process. So if you were here on Friday, or was it Thursday? Friday, I think. It's a blur. You probably remember Kimberly being on talking about how her moving on a property on Monday. Now today's Monday, so we'll see whether it happened. And she's about to do her first 1031 exchange into a cash flow property. So we're excited to hear it and very grateful that Kimberly is willing to share the journey. And Kimberly is just an absolute wealth of knowledge, wealth of information, and is just an absolute amazing human being. So I'm so excited. Kimberly, thank you for coming back.
Absolutely. I feel like we're doing reality real estate. Dun, dun, dun.
We totally are doing reality real estate. It's a dream come true.
I know, it's awesome.
All right. So, cool. So let's hear it. Where are things at today?
We closed. Woo!
Oh, we did close?
Just gonna cut right to the chase. Terrible lead up. I'm terrible that way. Let's just get to the goods.
No suspense.
No suspense.
Okay. So the closing happened. Tell us about it. How did it go?
Well, a couple things were happening as we were leading up into today. So first of all, let's because I think this is really appropriate for your group and anybody watching is, you talk a lot about remote real estate investing. And so this is remote because we had people in 3 different states closing today. And nobody was all flying into the same location, right? So this can happen from your home. There's these beautiful things called mobile notaries. My mom didn't even have to leave her house. It was amazing. So my mom was signing her docs in the Palm Springs, California area. She's kind of out by Coachella for all you partiers, you know where that is. And then my uncle is in like this beautiful, quiet, tiny little town called San Marcos, Texas, outside of Austin. And then the land and the buyers, there's 2 different buyers, were in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So everybody was doing their stuff today, all on
Where
their
is the
own.
property itself?
It is in the middle of nowhere, New Mexico. It really is. So my great grandparents, when they homesteaded, apparently they had the opportunity to buy land that's now called Dallas, or they had land in the middle of New Mexico. Obviously, they did not make the right choice, but that's okay. That's all right. It still made my mom and uncle a really nice check today. So a couple of things about it though, that I just want to point out is that, so I'm a big advocate that if you want something in your real estate deal, you got to ask, because if you don't ask, you're not going to get it. Right. And I know you know that. So like with the ranch, it's kind of laid out a little bit funky. And the reason I said there's 2 buyers is because the main buyer that they've been leasing the ranch to the last couple of years, he's been running the cattle on it. Well, he wanted the bulk of it, but there was this one funky little piece that was kind of across the freeway and he didn't really want it. It didn't fit with everything for him. So he's like, yeah, well, I don't want that. And so my mom and uncle came back and we're like, had a family chat and we're like, yeah, that's not going to work. Like he's got to take it all or take nothing. So then that was our counter, right? It's the way it goes. So then he comes back and he's like, okay, I talked to the guys that have the land right next to that little piece that I don't want. And I've arranged that they're going to buy it. And they'll buy it at the same price I'm paying for ours, which actually wasn't that great, but that's okay. It's done. So then the condition comes back. So it was like, okay, great. So they could buy it. It was a smaller piece and they had the cash and they could just pay for it right now. But the guy buying the big piece, he was going to get some financing. And so that was what took some time in all of this. And there was the potential that maybe his financing wouldn't come through. So we came back and I, talked to my mom and uncle. I said, no, they got to take both pieces, right? And they got to close simultaneously. Everything.
The 1031 exchange.
That's right. It would totally, exactly. Thank you. Ding, ding, ding. Totally would mess up the 1031 because then they would have had to have 2 separate 1031s, one for a teeny tiny little piece and one for a big piece as well. Yeah. Exactly. So all that came together. And then it was kind of cool because, well, I think it's cool because I like to pull things together. I'm sort of a project manager by nature, right? Like I just can't help myself, and I like to have all my ducks in a row and everybody lined up way ahead. So last week I was emailing escrow and I'm like, hey, folks, I need all the documents ahead of time. I got to review everything. Yeah, I don't do same day reviews, right? Not at all. And you know what's crazy? And I know you know this. If you don't ask for it, they won't send it to you.
Yeah, you'll just get it while you're closing.
Crazy, right?
And it's never right. It's never right. Ever right.
Ever. To the tune of like almost $3,600 not right this time.
I'm not even shocked.
I know.
I'm not even shocked. But this is good. I'm glad because people don't necessarily know if they're new to real estate, and a lot of people in our group are.
Yeah.
You think it's the title company. So, I mean, they should know what they're doing. It's the title company. It's what they do every day.
Right.
Yet, I'm telling you what, it has been never, at least for me personally, my deals, I've never had the closing statement be right the first time.
And
it's never in my favor.
Never. And it's not that they're evil people. It's not that they're stupid people. Right. It's not that they're trying to like mess up your deal, but God bless them. They just don't know. And guess what? They don't care, right? They just want to get paid and close it and close their file and move on. And our realtors, God bless them, they work hard. And I love a good realtor, but they don't care either. They just want their commission check. I get it. So
nobody cares more than you, the owner.
That's right. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares more than you. We always gotta look at stuff.
Oh, for sure. And it was so cute because my mom and uncle are like, oh, we could ask for that. I'm like, heck yeah, we're not close. So I got the documents last week. I read them all. My lending cousin, my commercial banking cousin, she's like, thanks for doing all of that. Glad I didn't have to. And which was cute. So I went through everything. And of course, it's not right. They were charging, they were supposed to split up the survey. So the survey was supposed to be paid by all three people, some by us and some by each of the other buyers. And they didn't do that. And then taxes weren't prorated correctly.
Wow.
And then they thought that, oh, so mobile notary for my mom, mobile notary for my uncle, that's all well and good. But, there's two closing statements, right? Because there's two buyers. So they charged it 4 times. I'm like,
no.
I know. So it was cute. So all that got fixed. No problem. I'm like, oh, hey, sorry, but I think you might, want to correct this. And she's like, I didn't know that. I'm like, that's okay. No problem. Here's the contract amendment stating that they were going to pay for it. And here's the email stating how the taxes were going to be allocated. And she's like, oh, great. Thanks. Right. Like that's our job, right? To help them check their boxes. And that's why we, do what we do and we get paid the big bucks in real estate because, we get it done and get it done right. So anyway, today, because, I just don't trust anybody all the time, right? So like I knew, and I'm not there. I'm in Northern California. I'm up at South Lake Tahoe. I am not out in India with my mom. So I have no idea what she actually got, right? So I'm texting mom yesterday and I said, hey, so when's the notary coming? You got to call me and we got to go through the HUD one more time. And so she does. Notary's there. Everything's lined up. Gary and I are out grocery shopping. We're in full COVID-19 garb today, right? And that's okay. So I got mom on the phone and I'm like, just read me the numbers. Just go down the line and read me the numbers. She's reading. I'm like, okay, that one looks good. You can sign all of that file. Okay, awesome. Let's read the other one. So she starts going. And they put those silly little notary charges back in there again. I said, stop. Hold on. You can sign all the other paperwork, but the HUD is not getting signed. And this is what's so funny too, right? The notary, because people watching this, you have to control the situation. It is your job. I don't care what title is telling you, what escrow is telling you, what your realtor is telling you, what the notary is telling you. If it ain't right, that's your job. That's your job to do it, to fix it. I'm like, stop everything. Do not sign the HUD settlement statement. And the notary's like, there's no signature page on there. I'm like, oh, honey, I know there's a signature page for the HUD. There always is a signature. So don't sign that, but she can sign everything else. I got to make some calls. I'll call you back. Right. So I hang up. I'm send them back on their way, call title. And of course the lady doesn't pick up. So that's when you don't wait, right? Like you ain't waiting here. We're not going to like leave a message. We're in the middle of closing. No, you hit 0, you go to the operator. I get a live person. I'm like, I got to talk to these ladies because we got a problem. Oh, okay. Hold on one moment, Miss Keaton. Get the escrow agent on the phone. I'm like, problem with the HUD. It's not right. And this is what you'll learn too, is you guys close more deals. There's a whole bunch of stuff you don't have to sign with a wet signature.
Right. And that's one of them.
And that's one of them. So I'm okay with all this, right? Like I know this is fixable and it's super simple because we've done this a couple of times. So, but the notary stuff, we just got to check that off and get it in the FedEx so it can get back there tomorrow. So I get the escrow agent on, I'm like, it's not right. And she's like, I'm so sorry. Let me get it fixed. And I said, hey, by the way, let's keep closing. Just email us a document. We'll do an electronic signature. She's like, absolutely, Miss Keaton. I'm so sorry. Totally not a problem. But mind you, my uncle is signing today too. So I got to keep everybody, right? Like this is part of the coordination because I don't like hiccups, right? Like I don't want anything to mess with the closing for anybody. So I'm immediately like texting my uncle. I'm like, Uncle Kenny, what's going on? You can't sign the HUD for this one, but you can sign everything else. And he's like, and I said, and everything's fine. It's all still going to fund. We'll just do it electronically, right? Like make sure he's all on the same page. And he's like, I get this text back immediately. I'm so glad you're helping us with all of this.
That's true. They kind of got you like you're their one-on-one coach.
And you know what? People pay me lots of money to do this for them, right? Or to teach them how to do it. And it's family. You know, they've been
what are you gonna do?
They've been so good to me for 40 plus years. I got to pay it forward. So anyway, and I was going to show, I don't know how this is going to come through, but this is my mom. This is my little cutie patootie mother right here in her mask. And this is the notary, right? And you can tell they live in the desert because she's like total full on.
So she's wearing a baby or bikini top to the closing to the.
But that's how we roll, right?
It's hot. It's hot in San Diego, so I'm sure it's hot in India.
Oh yeah, they're already like topping 110. Yeah, I think so. It's brutal.
Oh,
anyway,
wow.
It's the reason I don't live there. So anyway, big takeaway I wanted for everybody today was get your documents ahead of time, read them, expect mistakes.
Yes.
Right? Expect them. Our job is to find them, knowing that they're there.
Yeah.
Anything you didn't like, there was a whole bunch of forms in there that are COVID-19 related that I've never seen before. So I had a phone call with title last week and I said, hey, walk me through this. I got some questions on some of these things. I've been doing real estate since 2008. I still have questions. And that's one of the things I've learned. If I'm not 100% sure, can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen. And that's their job, is to walk us through it, right? They're not upset. They're not mad. They're like, yeah, they don't mind. That's their job. So they walk me through it. They explain everything. That way I can explain it. And I do the same thing with people that invest with me, right? Because I'll put together small groups of investors. They're all very connected to this process as well. And so I need to have the answers so I can have the answers for them. So everybody feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was huge. Yeah. Now we are officially in the time clock, which I didn't mention on the last call. I know we talked about the 45 days. So I'm under the assumption we're in 45 days, like, gotta find a deal. So anybody watching,
right?
Yes, anybody watching that has access to deals, I need turnkey deals.
What size? Because we have like what 20 people in our wholesale course who just started a couple weeks ago. So by all means, let's tell them what you're looking for. Then
I need a deal. So we got we got $580,000 in cash in the 1031.
580. Okay.
I'll leverage it up to 70%. So let's put us at roughly about 2.4 million max. Okay. Anywhere in the US I will look at, but I would prefer not to fly east of the Mississippi because it takes a whole heck of a long time to get from California to Florida, but I will look anywhere. Okay. My mom needs a check every month. So this is not a major value add deal. If you got some value add deals, I'm looking for a small investor pool. So I'm open to those as well. You can use the same price point. That'll work fine. So something that's kind of already done. It's going to kick off some income for her. Do not be sending me 5 caps and 6 caps. That's not going to work.
So what kind of minimum? That way people know what to look for.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's say an eight cap.
Okay.
Minimum.
So
okay.
For everybody watching, if you don't know what that means, 8 cap, but you are interested in wholesaling or whatever, 8 cap means that the cap rate, if you haven't seen the financial analysis, what is it called, masterclass yet, you can watch that. But basically the 8% is the cap rate. That means that's how much net operating income comes in compared to the purchase price. It's an 8% return. It would be like the equivalent of if someone bought a property with all cash and there was no financing, the cash flow and the net operating income would be the same, and that would be 8% annual return based on the purchase price. So anyway, 8% and 8 cap rate is the same thing. It's 8% cap rate. So as you guys are out there looking, in case that's new to you, that's what you're looking for, 8 or higher, and performing. So no value adds, meaning we don't want a lot of vacancies. There's a lot of people in there. It's already cash flowing. It's already managed. It's already doing. It's just that somebody's looking to cash out and be done.
Yep.
Kimberly's looking to cash in and get going.
Now, if you have some heavy lift deals, that need a lot of work, but there's a lot of upside, I'm interested in those too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be for Kimberly.
That would be for me and my little group of investors that are acquiring properties right now. But yeah, so for mom, it's got to be something that doesn't need a lot of work and it's going to make a check every month for her. And now it might need a little bit of spiffing. Workforce housing is great. So see, neighborhoods are fine as long as it's not, it's just not trashed. You guys will know. You'll know when you start looking at deals. So no A neighborhoods because those are overpriced and they're not going to be an 8 cap. So let's see here. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about the 45 days, and this is what I'm waiting for from our 1031 agent who's waiting from the US government to clarify this, but we may have till July 15th.
Oh, because of COVID, they might extend the timelines.
Yes, they actually technically have, but for the group of people that were already in a 1031, when they passed this amendment, and it's not unusual if there's like a huge act of God, tornadoes, hurricanes, that they'll do little very area specific extensions for 1031s. Yeah.
I did not know that.
I did not either. You learn things all the time.
Totally.
So the challenge with this issue for COVID was because there's not a specific single event for the date and the extension. So anyway, everybody that was already in a 1031 actually got an extension until July 15th. So we're hoping that maybe we'll get a little bit of extra time, but I'm not worried. I know that there's deals out there all the time. We will find them. Maybe one of your students. That would be so awesome.
Wouldn't that be so
way awesome?
Finish the series with somebody in our wholesale class found you an apartment building and wholesaled it. Like,
that'd be so cool. And nothing smaller than, we could break it up over a couple buildings. So for you wholesalers out there, you realtors out there, we could break it up over a couple buildings and that's fine. But nothing smaller than 4 units. Let's just
4.
Yeah. If we start getting into less than 4 units, it's just going to be too much to try to piece together. Yeah. So I think, and the last thing, I'm looking at my notes because I had some stuff I wanted to talk to you and make sure I covered. So also on the closing issue, for those of you out there, when you're going through closing, your escrow agent is going to send you all those documents when you're done. Guess what? They can actually email you a copy, all of them, the minute they receive them. So I don't do paper anymore because you are going to need that paper. It's very important paper and you're going to lose it just like everybody else does. So have them email it to you and have an electronic copy, and don't waste your time scanning it yourself. That's their job. So just let them know nicely ahead of time. Hey, by the way, when you get everything back and it's all fully executed, I want you to send me the full file. And then you have to follow up on them. That's our job. We got to remind them nicely. When can I expect to see that by? Okay, great. I'll put a little note on my calendar then. And on that day, I will follow up. Hey, I hadn't seen that file come through yet. How's it coming? When am I going to get it?
I think a couple of the big things can be too for people that are newer in real estate or haven't done first transaction.
Yeah.
The stuff you talked about, that's probably like absolutely probably some of the biggest learning curve, other than the technicals of it, is just that feeling empowered to ask the questions. One, to ask questions anytime you don't understand something. I've been telling my students for years that I think part of the reason I know so much, because people are like, how on earth do you have that much knowledge in your head? And I'm like, frankly, it's because I am such a detail-oriented person. And my learning style is, if you do not explain to me every single possible detail, I will just be like, but I don't get it. And it's very annoying to teach someone like that. So I feel bad for my teachers. However, that's just how it was for me. So my education program didn't teach me like that. So the way I learned all of those little things was asking. And the title company was a huge source of education for me. Because I was always asking, well, what about this line? And what does that even mean? And how does that impact that? So, and nobody was ever upset about me asking. In fact, they were happy to explain it. So I just want to tell everyone, like, when you're new, do not be afraid to ask questions. Don't let your ego get in the way of you getting information that could not make or break a deal, but could make an impact on you financially. A lot of times you don't want to seem stupid, or you don't want to seem new. You got to kick that to the curb. Because what you're going to feel stupid on is if you find out after the fact that you lost $1,500 that you didn't need to because you were afraid to ask. So just be willing to be a student when you're in transactions the first, however long it takes, frankly. Even now, there's never a deal that I'm not on the phone asking questions to the title company, because there's always stuff that's different in every market, right? So that's not the technical side of things, but I just wanted to point that out and just give you guys permission to ask every imaginable question. Kimberly's been doing this since 2008. I've been doing it since 2003. We have been doing this a long time, and we still ask questions. So it doesn't indicate you're new. It indicates you're smart for asking questions. Okay, so just reframe that in your mind so that you can get the knowledge that you need, and you're going to feel so much more confident when you have more knowledge.
Oh, for sure. And I'll be the first one to say, hi, my name is Kimberly. I'm a recovering perfectionist. I loved it when you said kick it to the curb. You have got to kick that to the curb. Getting it done is so much more important than having it perfect and pretending to know all the answers, because nobody knows all the answers. Not even Bill Gates, not even Warren Buffett. Nobody knows all the answers.
No, every deal's a little different. There's always some kind of oddball thing. There's something to learn every time.
For sure. Absolutely. So now we are waiting to get the full file coming in. Okay. Also waiting for 100% confirmation that the 1031 escrow account has funded. That's question number 2. That's always, the follow-up. Has it funded? Is the money there? And shopping. So we actually spent almost 90 minutes on a Zoom with a realtor on Saturday, looking at properties. So it's going, and so stay tuned.
Cool. All right, so we're going to get together again on Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. So if you guys want to continue on the journey with Kimberly and the 1031 exchange, you can meet us next Thursday, and then we'll make the announcement for the following week when we're going to do these little updates. And I hope you guys are finding it helpful. We're excited to be able to share this with you. And Kimberly, thank you once again.
Absolutely. Send me your deals.
All right. Have a great night, everyone.
All right. Bye.
Bye.